This is TCE number 19, forcing people to decide if they're in mortal sin. You know, as dioceses open up again, I have to say it's good that the Mass obligation that never should have been lifted is back. But it turns out there's now dispensations to the dispensation from the obligation that's making it impossible on some lay people to tell right from wrong. Now also, we have this problem. Some places are requiring a vaccine to go to Mass without a mask, but then saying the priest won't ask you. Okay, you'd think I'd be happy about that, but the problem is this is essentially giving a wink and a nod to say, especially to the conservative parishioners, hey, you don't have to follow the rules since we're kind of in this don't ask, don't tell church now. But isn't this encouraging people to go to Holy Communion in a state of dishonesty? Look, chancery lawyers are not teaching you the correct moral theology. I'm going to give you some direct examples for the sake of your soul. One diocese out east released a statement saying fully vaccinated persons no longer need to wear a mask in any setting. In that same document, a little bit later, it says priests aren't allowed to ask questions of their parishioners. Okay, so this means priests can give the wink and the nod to unvaccinated parishioners going maskless. But again, this is dishonest, as I said before. So denotation aside, I know lawyers like denotation. We normal people have to consider the connotation. And the connotation here is clear. The diocese is asking unvaccinated people to be dishonest and go maskless to Holy Communion. But can you really go to Holy Communion on a lie? Yes, the bishops have decided the lawyers of the diocese should cover the tale of the chancery legally before considering the souls of the people who are being encouraged to be dishonest. Another diocese out west has lifted the dispensation to the Sunday obligation to attend Holy Mass. Notice a legalism in just that sentence right there that would have boggled the mind of even first century Pharisees and scribes. But it gets better. Now there is a dispensation from that dispensation from the Mass obligation in that diocese at many parishes. I'm not kidding. Many parishes there now read on the website, this is direct from one of the websites at a parish, for example, quote, the church will continue to excuse from Sunday Mass those with serious reason or grave cause from the obligation, which in light of the pandemic would include anyone who is sick, symptomatic, or has been recently exposed to the coronavirus, protecting the health of others as an act of Christian charity and our moral duty to one another, anyone with significant health risk factors that requires them to avoid public spaces, or if you care for someone with significant risk factors, anyone who cannot attend Mass through no fault of their own. So, for example, if a parish has reached seating capacity in the church, end quote. Okay, let me translate that civil attorney jargon into moral theology jargon for you. That means if you're mildly sick, but pretty sure it's not coronavirus, then you're in mortal sin for missing Sunday Mass in that specific parish bounds of the diocese. But if you're very sick or symptomatic, then you can skip Mass and it's not mortal sin. So you must decide if you're in mortal sin based on how sick and old you are. But remember, if you switch boundaries to another parish with different exceptions to the lifted dispensation of the obligation, then you're just in venial sin or maybe mortal sin, but it all depends how sick you are and also where you randomly find yourself within the parish and diocesan boundaries. Of course, if you go to the next diocese, maybe you're only in venial sin for missing Sunday Mass, or maybe no sin because the dispensation to skip Mass has not been lifted. So look, I have no intention of reforming the clergy in this madness, but it's all further proof of their apostasy. The clergy have placed chancery lawyers ahead of their faithful souls, enforcing them to decide if they're in mortal sin after missing Sunday Mass. Let's just admit the people writing this stuff just don't believe any of it. This is first century Pharisee legalism. But this time, instead of crucifying Christ, this is truly crucifying the church. And this is a question of moral theology that I am obliged to speak up on at this point. I'm making this video not to be a thorn in anybody's side, but as proof that you cannot rely on such parochial legalism to get your family to heaven. You must rely on apostolic Catholicism, on traditional Catholicism. May God bless you.